Today is March 15th, and it's been a while since our last podcast for multiple different reasons we probably don't need to get into, but we're back. And I can't totally remember where we left off. I do know that I said I was going to complete a new drawing, and Mike, I think you were going to do a blog post. I did my drawing. Did you do your blog post? I did not check.
I did not.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
That
Well,
is what happened there.
Okay, well, have you done anything noteworthy recently or since our last thing?
I did, for me at least, I made my 500-pound deadlift attempt and I succeeded and I'm really, really, really happy about it. I didn't,
I mean, other than this being an enormous amount of weight, this was also like a really big goal for a really long time, right?
yeah, I mean, I think I had written this down as a goal, was under a list of lifetime goals, and it had to have been 10 years ago. Which it shouldn't have taken me this long to get there, but I'm
Yeah.
cutting myself some slack. We got there. So
Well, congratulations. 500 pounds
thank
is
you.
a lot of
Thank you. It's what was, we can get into it if we want, or I don't know, but some of it was interesting to me. Just the mental side of it leading up to it, making it such a big goal and working towards it caused it to really get in my head to the point where, so the way I ended up deciding to do this was I set it as a goal for my 40th birthday. So a couple weeks ago, I turned 40, and on my 40th birthday, made this attempt at the deadlift. And the thinking was, turning 40 is a bit of a thing. It would be fun to try and do something really hard on my 40th birthday, kind of, fight against the mental uh I don't know, midlife scaries of getting older. And apparently a lot of
yeah.
people do this. So once I started talking about it, a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, I ran a marathon when I turned 40 and all this stuff." So not original, but anyway, it wound up becoming a really big thing in my head. And the morning of, we had planned on doing it around, afternoon 1 or 2. And so that whole morning, I'm like, I just feel like I'm in a knot. I'm almost, I wouldn't say panicky, but close to it. Like it just had really, really built itself up. I had a really terrible month of deadlifting, or a month of lifting in general leading up to it. Uh, that had really wrecked my mentality. But what was kind of interesting to me was that I put so much, uh, I created a story for myself, just like a general, I'm getting older and I can't do things anymore, or I'm totally on top of this and, I'm doing great. I'm stronger than ever. Like just there's these different narratives in my head, and it mostly came down to whether or not I was going to succeed at this lift, and I did succeed. And so all of the good narrative just kind of slotted in of, oh, yep, I'm doing great. I feel super good. I can accomplish hard things. I'm, stronger than I've ever been, blah, blah, blah. And easily could have gone the opposite, where I would have felt super miserable and been questioning all this stuff. And it felt like it all wound up hinging on something very, uh, something that could have kind of gone either way. And I'm not, this is a bit of a story too, but I think that my month of very bad lifting may have been from me being sick, because I did succeed at the 500-pound deadlift on my 40th birthday, but I got super freaked out because I had tried heavy, but not quite that heavy lifts leading up to it. And like had a lift at 475 that was horrible. I barely got it up, barely managed to lock it out, and it just felt awful. Like I never deadlifted in my life, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can barely do this. There's no way I'm doing 500. And I think I may have been sick at the time, but I mean, I can't control when I get sick. But if that had happened just a couple weeks later, that would have totally blown the attempt, and I probably wouldn't have even known. I didn't have symptoms, but I think I may
So
have been sick. It's just like I felt like my whole self-image was hinging on something trivial, which is I feel like not the way to do it, but I
Okay, so
guess it
let me
worked
try
out.
to understand this. You made a very tough goal to reach. You worked super, super hard, put in an enormous amount of work to hit that goal. You hit the goal, and now you're worried that you might have cared about it too much, and you're scared that if you hadn't hit the goal, you would have been sad. And so now you're struggling with that thought, and you're
I
punishing yourself a little bit for
I'm
working this up.
That's a rough way to put it, and I hear you. I'm not punishing myself. I feel really good. I mean, genuinely, I feel super good. I'm just reflecting a little bit on the general strategy of creating a goal like this and then putting it on your 40th birthday and making it a really big deal. And I think I'm just not sure that that was the best way to do it. Again, I got it. It's done. I
It
feel
might have,
amazing. I'm
you
no
know,
regrets.
it might have been the only way for you to do it.
Maybe, maybe.
Um, but I no, I mean, I see your point, and I was thinking about that. I was like, how awful would you have felt if you had not hit it? But lucky for you, you don't have to worry about that. Maybe
Right.
for your 50th birthday, when you deadlift 1,000 pounds, you won't
I
hit that and feel
Yeah.
bad about it.
Well, my point is, this is not my last goal. I'm not ready to die yet. So I'm just trying to make sure that for the next thing or series of things, all I'm saying is that I want to think about them a little bit differently, and I'm not sure this was the best way to do it.
So how should you have done it?
Well, I have to say, looking back at the past year or so of lifting, the the stretches of time where things felt the best, where I felt like I was really making progress, is where I was completely not focused on a goal or a any big far off number. The mantra was always go up or always do more. So like the whole plan was whatever you did last week, do more than that. Even if it's like even if you're taping a cotton ball to the barbell, whatever, just get a little bit more weight on there. And as scary as that feels, that's all. That's all you're focused on. You're not thinking about next week. You're not thinking about, oh my gosh, do more than this. You just focus like that. And that, that can kind of gets a little bit wiggly at some point. If you do a cycle and then take a week off, you're not necessarily throwing on more weight than the last time immediately. But, you know, within a little bit of wiggle room, that felt really solid to me. Just that really tight focus of what you're doing now and just trying to push yourself, but not like I got to throw 10 pounds on every time. Just I just got to eke out a little bit more. And that felt like a really really good groove to be in. And I'd like to more think that way. I recognize that there is a lot of value in the bigger goals because again, I it has made me feel really good about myself. Just genuinely I've been doing really well since then. So I kind of see that side of it too, but I don't know.
Well,
We've kind
yeah,
of gone
I
back
don't.
and forth about this like a few times, so I'm curious to hear what you think. Are you gonna set some giant goal for when you're 40, or how would you look at it?
I don't think I'm going to do the 500-pound deadlift. I'm not thinking of 40 yet. Okay,
Well,
how old am
what
I?
I'm just like I know, but just your goal philosophy. We've wrestled with this before.
Yeah, I definitely go back and forth. Like, do you make goals? Do you not make goals? Whatever. I think the bad part about your goal right there, where it could have gone super bad, is just the you building it up so much in your head. Because I could also see a version of someone or a different person having that same goal, them
Mm-hmm.
not hitting it and being like, oh, well, I'll get it at 41, you know? Like their day not even ruined or sad or anything. So
Yeah.
it's hard to give a definitive answer on
Well,
our big goals, good or bad. It's like,
fine.
it's more the mentality behind it.
Sure, but let's just whoever that person is, I don't know them, or I'm so
I know.
the way I work is so foreign that it's hardly worth talking about. And I know that you aren't that person either. So let's just constrain it to us and people like us.
Well, I don't know if it's I don't know. I think we're both capable of, seeing it a little bit differently
Sure.
than totally life crushing if you miss a big goal. I think we are capable of, yeah, of that same mentality when it comes to these things. And I think we've had them at different points. I can't think of a specific example, but there are times where I've not done something, but I can see that logically it, wasn't all that possible or something else came up and it's not the end of the world. And then there's other times where I've worked really, really hard to hit a deadline and that feels like the right thing to do. So,
Yeah.
it's hard to definitively say a good or bad or whatever. But I would lean, if you're asking my opinion, I would lean more on the goal was good. The achievement was awesome. It was a great idea, a great thing for you to structure everything to work towards, a cool thing to do on your 40th birthday. You had, it, I mean, barring, back problems or some kind of massive, you know, thing going wrong, it was a low risk and a very high reward. So the only risk was you getting sad on your birthday,
That's
if you
true.
didn't get it. And the high reward is you just lifted 500 pounds and life achievement unlocked. So I don't know. I would say do it again, like,
That's kind of fair.
so yeah,
Maybe
that,
the
that's,
lesson is just don't fail and you'll
well,
be
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Just
that's one.
set hard
I
goals
mean,
and do them.
that's, that's part of it. And you should. You also shouldn't, I mean, let's say you're super productive and you have this one giant goal. Well, you also have a giant goal the week after and the week after or a month later or you got 10
Hmm.
more goals lined up, So this is 1 out of 10 major goals. If you don't get this one, well, you better work harder to hit the next one. So maybe it's more goals that you need to make each one seem a little bit less significant and make or break for your entirety of
Yeah.
you as a person. So maybe the answer is more goals.
Well, I will make this observation at least. So I'm not in disagreement, but it's worth noting that part of getting there, I mean, the goal applied a lot of pressure to me, and that I felt it mentally. I was maybe a little bit of a jerk around. I just was like, I can't. I think I did get sick, but even so, the whole past 6 months, anytime someone had a cold, I'm like, nope, we're not. Stay away from me. I can't have that. I can't miss 2 weeks of training. I mean, Sam would get sick, and I'm like, okay, I'm sleeping in the other room. See you in 5 days or whenever. You're not. I mean, I was just like so paranoid. I had barely any alcohol at all because I didn't want it to mess with my sleep. So, and not just that, but I had to train super hard and I felt it and it would kind of wear me down. So it was a big application of pressure. It was hard for me to get to where I needed to do it. And since then, everything has lightened up. I'm I'm still lifting, but like taking a step back, much lighter weights and all that stuff. And even just my, fitness watch, it keeps like showing me warnings every morning because it's like you're too relaxed, something is wrong. Like I haven't my heart rate has dropped and my HRV has gone up to where the watch is like this is so out of normal that something must be wrong, but like no, I just haven't been relaxed like this in a long time. So anyway, there's something to the cycle of pushing very hard and being under pressure and then having this time to kind of release and relax. So, I do think a maybe a milder cycle would be better. I think it was a little bit of a under too much pressure, but I there has to be some rhythm. It can't just be a goal every week, I think. Not like this anyway.
Well, I'm in different categories.
Yeah,
So
and yeah, and
weightlifting
I'm with you there.
one,
Yeah.
yeah, programming the next, so whatever.
Hmm.
Um, I'm I I hear that, and a lot of pressure can make you kind of be a jerk or whatever or anyone. And have to tell other people no and do hard things that other people, maybe no one on the planet can really understand or accept, and
Hmm.
people might get mad at you for going after something that's important to you. And I say do it anyway. And don't be a jerk about it as much as you can, but if that is what you must do to accomplish what you set out to accomplish, then so be it. Like, you must be able to say no to people. In fact, that is the thing that that's the reason why people don't do a lot of really hard things, because they
Hmm.
can't say no to people. They can't they
Yeah.
can't fight against external pressures, and they can't do those things because it's hard. And that's why a lot of people aren't deadlifting 500 pounds. So bravo. Next time, maybe try to not be a jerk, but at the same time, maybe you weren't such a jerk, and maybe you were just doing what you needed to do in order to accomplish it.
I
And
I
so,
I
yeah.
don't think I was really a jerk. I think it's fine. I don't know. You'd have to
I
ask
know what you
other
mean.
people.
Yeah.
Um, one other last thing I want to note here is that just looking back, um, for the past year at least, I've had an amazing lifting partner who's like super dedicated and just always shows up and is ready to go. And it's hard for me to imagine getting here. Like I have lifted on my own for stretches of time, but it's really tough for me to imagine actually doing this without that in place. I just I just really don't see how it would have ever happened. Uh so that's just an observation for anything that anybody's doing. I think you can do hard stuff for a while, but at least for me, the difference between having some kind of social reinforcement structure is it's hard to overstate how worthwhile that is.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of interviews from successful people. I won't list names because I don't want to talk about them, but listening to interviews and podcasts, whatever, from important people that do tons of things and whatever. And like, the number one thing that one of them said is they were asked, if you could give any piece of advice, what would the number one piece of advice be, or whatever. And the number one piece of advice was, you are the people you hang around. That's it. Like, you are absolutely the person, like, you are a collection of the very few
Hmm.
people that you spend the most time with. And like, if you're around a bunch of weightlifters and healthy people, then they're going to be eating healthy all the time, and you need to eat healthy too. If you're
Yeah.
hanging out with a bunch of, uh, I don't know, not super, you know, weightlifty, athletic people, they're going to be ordering pizzas all the time, and so you just end up eating pizza all the time, right? Like,
Yeah.
and if you're around really lazy, or I don't know, people who aren't after anything in life, then you don't, like, your ambition will be knocked down continuously. If you're around other people that are obsessed about things and are very ambitious and want to accomplish things, well, then you get pushed further and further, and you go get those things. So absolutely. um, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a small thing. I don't think it's a little observation. I think it is necessary. I've noticed when I start listening to interviews and podcasts and all that stuff, like, of people that I connect to or that I relate to,
Hmm.
that I want to be more like, I get really excited, and I take on their personalities, and I take on their qualities, and it drives me. Like, it, even if I watch a fiction show, or some kind of drama or something on TV, I take on the characters.
Hmm.
Like, I end up, talking like them, or whatever. Like, I just start thinking in terms of them, and it makes perfect sense to me that you kind of are the people you hang around or listen to, or spend the most time with. Sometimes it's not even in person. It's just, who are you listening to? Who are you taking in? You just kind of become them.
Yeah, I think that's super true. Haven't necessarily thought about it in these terms, but so we're moving. This could be the last podcast from this view. So uh maybe say goodbye. I don't know.
You
Um,
should just take a second. You've been in that one spot for a very long time.
yeah, yeah. But I might be next week. I'm not sure if I'm moving the office by
Okay.
next weekend or not. So I don't want to get too weird about it. Anyway, we're moving, and we've accumulated a lot of stuff, and I'm going through the daunting process of, I mean, I am Marie Kondoing the shit out of everything I own. It's all going in a pile, and then most of it's going in a trash bag or to Goodwill, and only the stuff that sparks maximal joy is coming along for the ride. So I've been doing that. But and I was so dreading this. I mean, I knew I'd feel better when I got it done, but it's just like a thing that I've been putting off for a decade. So going through my electronic crap has been insane. It's been like two
Yeah.
solid days. Anyway, so part of the process, so I'm using the Marie Kondo method. 10 out of 10, it is the way to do it. She's right, like 100%. But also, I just started watching, like, as I'm going through all this crap, I would put on YouTube or whatever. I have relaxed my rules on watching YouTube during the week, during this process, but it's been fine. But I'll just watch videos of like minimalism and
Mhm.
interior design and just like stuff that is honestly a little bit cringy on its own, but it's like exactly the mindset that I need right now. Like I need to hear some rich asshole talk about how minimalism is like the true way to live and happiness or whatever.
Just for
Because
the
I just
record, there's no way that we are not also cringy. So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
throwing
yeah.
that
I
out.
mean, whatever. I'm not exactly pointing fingers, just pointing something out. But like getting that to kind of saturate in my head just creates this a little bit of excitement and interest. And actually watching some of these interior design videos and everything, you're like, oh, wow, I could do a lot better with the way I think about my spaces. And a lot of these things are super true and probably would matter a lot. So it genuinely is exciting. There's something cool about this. Can go both ways, I think. It's very easy to get your head full of stuff that it probably shouldn't be. I noticed this when I was watching, like, just was really tuned into politics and everything, watching different political commentators' personalities, and I would just like have it on a lot. And after a while, I'm just noticing, like, just like you said, that I'm starting to pick up a lot of that, like, cynicism and saltiness and just this unjustified confidence in the way the world works and how I see it and whatever. I'm like, okay, this is not, I don't want to be that personality. But it's nice to use it strategically. You're like, oh, I want to think of myself as a minimalist for the next couple weeks as I'm trying to convince myself to throw away all my crap. So,
It's
using it to
where
your advantage is pretty nice. Yeah.
it's where your head should be. I mean, you should be. This is, your one chance in hopefully a long time. I mean, if you want to stay where you are going
Yeah.
next, it's kind of your one chance. And you've been at this place for I don't know how long, very,
Mm-hmm.
very long time. So this is your chance to think about this stuff, and you're not going to be thinking about it in theory for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So wrap your head around it, submerge yourself or immerse yourself into that world, and just live in it and enjoy it for a little bit, and
Yeah.
watch your minimalist videos. And
Yeah. And
yeah,
I mean, I might just be kind of brainwashed here, but it really is amazing how much crap I have. Like,
you
why?
have that much crap.
Why? No, I mean, eh, I know it gets worse, but I'm going through my clothes and I pile them all on the bed, and it's just a mountain. I'm like, what is all of this stuff? I wear like four shirts. Why do I have this? Anyway,
Well, you get to answer that question. Can I talk about something?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so for the last week, I have been going insane, um, putting together a book that I've been working on for like 3 years, and I am about to hit send to the printers,
Oh,
and
I
I
I
I'm
thought
very
we were a
excited.
ways out on this. Okay.
No, no, I think I'm gonna try to submit it tonight. And I mean, there'll probably be some back and forth, whatever, but it's a a comic print shop. It's a very nice comic print shop, and I know a guy that got a book published there, not published, printed there, and yeah. So
Tell
I'm
us
just
about
I'm
it. I don't know that
okay.
we've. cover this in a bit, but
So I've been doing probably probably 3 years ago is when I started working on this. I started working on my own art project, right? And it started with paintings, like these big paintings, like this one in the background. And I did that, but it started taking too long. Like it was like 8 months to do that painting. So I had the idea of why don't I do a little book of sketches? It sounded really simple at the time, but it turned out to be difficult, but it also turned out to be like the right decision. So over the past couple years, I've been playing around with, different styles, different mediums, different whatever, but at developing these sketches, trying to come up with a collection while also developing like the world building of the project. And and if you go to my YouTube channel or whatever, that's what I've been working on. And that's what I've been talking about. And it's all been kind of, headed towards making a book. And this is, it's not like a big book. It's a small, I don't have it with me or like an example, but it's not like a hardbound book. I would, I, I think, by the end of the year, I want to do a bigger book, but it's a zine. It's a little, paperback
hmm
flip book. It's got, like 32 pages or something. And
it seems like a
it's
lot.
just, it's filled with sketches and everything I've done over the last 3 years for this project, figure eight. So about a couple weeks ago or a month ago, I bought a printer scanner so I could scan stuff, um, not to print it, but so I have been scanning all of my drawings, cleaning them up in Photoshop, learning how to use InDesign, and then taking them from Photoshop, throwing them in InDesign, trying to figure out how to print them on my printer just so I can see them and see how they work before I send them off to a real printer. Um, so it's just been like an insane week and a half, 2 weeks or whatever of me doing this. I mean, I guess I've been working on it for a while, but the last week has been I took the week off work and I've
Nice.
just been doing this nonstop. And I've done a couple new sketches for the book that I'd flip through the book and be like, it needs this or it needs that or whatever. And it's coming together, and I'm very happy with it, and I'm excited about it. It will be my first product, like my first online store product, other than like little imprint print things I've done that are I don't know, whatever. This is gonna be cool. It's gonna be really, really cool. I don't know how many to order, 100, maybe 200 or something, but um, yeah. I mean, it might be a month before I get the order in,
Yeah.
before I get them back from the printers. Um, but this is what I've been working towards for the last 3 years. So it's very, very exciting. I'm Yeah.
I'm surprised not that you're doing this, but I just when I talked to you last, it felt like this was farther out. I didn't realize that we were really coming up to it.
When I talked to you a week ago, it was farther out, but but I've just been obsessing and putting it all
Yeah.
together, and it just sort of happened. Yeah. Um, it's funny. Like there was a day where I had cleaned like I had done most of the scans. I had cleaned them up in Photoshop, which in itself takes a long time. And then I was like, oh man, I have to learn InDesign in order to put all this stuff, which is a different program I've never used ever, an
hmm
Adobe program. So I got it, and I was like, God, I don't know how to do this. This is gonna take forever. I started, complaining about it. Like I complain about everything, and then I don't know. I just had this wave of ambition, figured it out within like 2 hours. It wasn't that difficult, so it's not like a big feat. But I just let go of all the frustration, just buckled down, figured it out, uploaded everything, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I just like I've bypassed all of the little frustrations that would normally hold me back, and I just kept going and pushing and pushing and pushing through it. And yeah, so I'm proud of myself, and I'm just excited. I think it looks really cool, and yeah, just the
Awesome.
idea of having this product like available to sell is
Yeah.
just really cool. And then so the way I've been doing like my schedule is just kind of alternating. So I was working on my last drawing, which was supposed to be coupled with your blog post that you didn't post. Um, so I finished that drawing, and then I moved to the zine, which is what I'm wrapping up right now. After this, I got to make a video for Patreon, and then after that, I got to make a YouTube video, and after that, it's back to another drawing. So it's just kind of like the cycle,
Hmm.
and it's been working pretty well for me. I like it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So anyway, there's not much discussion there. It's just I just that's what I'm doing right
Yeah.
now.
No, that's awesome. I mean, I feel like we should maybe when it actually shows up, we should somehow celebrate the accomplishment of a
I will.
3-year arc, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Uh, yeah. That's pretty cool. But anyway, that we can probably wrap it up. But we're back, I
Yeah,
think.
we're we're back. Two things though, two things.
Okay.
It's been a month at this point since our last episode, but we had I don't even remember the context, but we were talking about how we needed a challenge or something. And then
Oh yeah.
and then we also talked at length about how, man, we never listen to music anymore. And somehow we didn't even put that together. But the most obvious thing in the world, the challenge that was supposed to be 3 weeks ago, but it's going to be this week, is to listen to an album. You just have to do that. So, um,
Hold on. Listen to an entire album while not doing anything else, right?
listen to an entire album while not doing anything else. And I think I'm going to add you can't be moving. So not in your car, not while you're on a walk. I think you must be still, you must be doing nothing else, and you must listen to an album start to finish. That is the challenge for the week. Sound good?
I would like to add another challenge, which is one I'm just doing anyway. Wake up at 5 a.m. every day in March. That's what I've been. Oh, except Sundays. Except Sundays.
Um
Um,
okay, that can't just be the challenge to issue because I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. and
Wake
I'm
up at a specified
yeah,
time of your
great.
choosing,
Great.
which is
Yes.
preferably a little bit earlier than you're used to or whatever. But
Sure.
I'm trying to wake up at 5 o'clock every single day, the month of March, except on Sundays.
Okay. Well,
And so far, I've done it.
on that note, it's 9 9:15 your time, I think.
Yeah. So I need to figure out how to submit this thing and then go to bed
Okay.
on
All
time.
right. Fantastic. So, wake up same time every day for March. I have to do a blog post this week. I'm committing to that. Do a blog post. And then public statement challenge issued to everyone who's listening. Pick some time this week, listen to an album start to finish, like you used to. Okay. So report back next week and we'll see how we did. See y'all then.